If you want to improve your photography and get off of auto, then you have to understand how to use manual mode. So let's get into it. You'll still be able to use autofocus even in manual mode. What that mode is giving you the control of are the settings that affect the brightness in your photos. Now, the first thing we're going to set is our ISO. Our ISO is the sensitivity of our sensor. That's going to be determined by how much light we have. If we're outside and it's bright and sunny, we can use ISO 100 or 200. If we're photographing action like sports or wildlife, we probably want to be at ISO 400, maybe even 800. If we're going inside, 800 and above is probably what we're going to need unless we're using a flash. The next thing we're going to set is our shutter speed. Our shutter speed controls time and therefore motion. So it's important for us to understand if we're photographing things that are moving or things that are stationary. If you're doing landscape photos or even portraits where people are standing still, then you can get away with a shutter speed that's somewhere around a 60th of a second. If you're photographing action, such as sports or wildlife, you're going to need a faster shutter speed. Start at 500 and you may have to go up from there. The final setting that you have to adjust is your aperture. And your aperture determines how much stuff is in focus in front of and behind what you're focused on. So what you set your aperture on is really dependent on your subject. Are you photographing one person? Then you can use a wider open aperture, the highest available aperture on your lens, which might be 3.5, 4, even 5.6. If you're photographing a group or a landscape photo, then you want as much stuff in focus as possible, which means you probably want to use something closer to f11 or f16. All this is going to depend on how much light there is. So take a look at your picture and see how bright it is. And if you need to adjust one of those to add more light in. Check out my Basics of Photography playlist in order to learn how to use and manipulate those different settings.